back to the stream. I'm here, as usual. You missed. So here's the thing about the ads. Supposedly on ASMR streams, like stuff under the ASMR category, Twitch apparently is no longer showing ads on those, which is good. I like that. I'm glad that that's the thing. But the timer still runs, even with that being the case. So, because of that, SiriBot still, says that it's happening, even though it's not, right? As far as I'm aware, it's not actually happening. So, but, hello, Marius, and hello, Pocket Mochas. Hello, Ripley. Hello, Booze. Merry-Go-Round. How's it going? I see a bunch of you there in chat also. SiriBot does still have a job. It's true. I'm back here again on the 3DO microphone. So you should be getting the full split audio happening here. I am very tired tonight. I'm gonna be honest. So my energy levels are very low. So I'm probably gonna be a little slower in talking than usual, but honestly that's okay, considering this is an ASMR stream. And those are kind of the vibes that you want for that. So honestly, that should work out in our favor. Hello over there on YouTube. I see you over there. Thank you for stopping by. Full audio of Bear doing ASMR while streaming a platform called Twitch. That works surprisingly well. It sure does. Obviously, as usual, guys, if you can let me know, thank you for the hydrate, by the way, let me know if my audio levels are good for this. I don't want to be too loud or too quiet. You had to come say hi before you fell asleep? Of course, of course. Thank you for the hydrate. And yes, let's get this. Oh, all right. Fizzy water right away. Also the Ada from Callium. All right, we'll start with that real quick here. Hello, Dino. Dino. Okay. Do you want me to? Okay. I'll do the fizzy water first. Oh my god. I knew that was coming. Yep. Getting the fizz out of the way early tonight. So that's okay though. Okay. Tonight's fizzy water is lemon lime. Water do I use? I mean, mostly the answer is whatever's on sale. But I mean, it's similar to LaCroix. This particular brand this time is called Waterloo sparkling water. Okay. To drink a little bit of it so that there was room in the glass to finish that up. The water is so good. I'm glad you guys like it. I really am. What I kind of like, so as far as what water I use, like I said, it's basically whatever's on sale at the time. Since hello, Dr. Smug. Oh, right, let me do this first before I forget, because Callium did request this. Callium. Callium. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. There you go. So, basically I get whatever's on sale at the time. I don't have, well, okay, I do have a brand that is, came in time to hear the fizzy water, glad to hear it. I do have a brand that I prefer, which is Polar, and not just because it has a bear on it, mostly because, like, it actually tastes really good. Absolutely, Callium. Sleep well. Good night. Next week is Escape Simulator, not this week. So, tonight's just a normal ASMR, yapping, and triggers stream. So, with that in mind, make sure, guys, if you have particular requests, exclamation point triggers will bring up the list, and you can pick something off there if you want to use your channel points to request something specific. Please don't be shy about doing that. I don't mind. Please request whatever you would like. Otherwise, I'll just be here talking away and occasionally doing something sound related. But tonight, oh right, I was talking about fizzy water. So, Polar tends to have flavors that I really like. It's one of the ones that actually does have, like, because, like, when it comes to seltzers, right, like, a lot of times the flavor is, like, mostly, it's mostly an aftertaste kind of thing, which is fine. That works. Polar is one of the few where I feel like there's a really strong flavor as you're drinking it, and it's not just an aftertaste thing. That said, this one from Waterloo is actually pretty good too. This one's lemon lime, and it kind of makes me think of Skittles. Either blowing into the mic or putting a fan up to it. I can do that, Dr. Smug, but that would be channel points. You do still gotta spend them. But only the YouTube people get your tab. There we are. Okay, Dr. Smug. Blowing into the mic, I can do that. I don't have a fan. Well, I do, but it would make too much noise, I think. So I think instead I can do this. Actually, there's something that's not on that trigger list that I might want to try. I might try it in a little bit. It's one of those things that I have heard on other ASMR streams, and I do like it. And I guess I've never thought to put it on my own trigger list. But if you guys want sniffers, sniffs, I can do that too. Just let me know. And even if not, I might try it just to see how it goes later. But snakes? No. Sniffers. like this. I like that I said I was going to do it later and then immediately did it. But, you know, whatever. It's fine. The bear is smelling people. Yes. And you smell like a baka. No, I'm kidding. The colliders all smell very good. My community, definitely all very pleasantly smelling individuals. I am positive. Can I smell what the bear is cooking? And it smells like, probably honey of some variety. It's the top one for CCNA. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate it. I've had a very full weekend. Smells blue eucalyptus. But I've had a very full weekend. You guys probably know that oh, excuse me, 1 second, sorry. Oh my gosh. Fizzy water. It's a thing. Anyways, what was I saying? Yes. I did take part in a tournament last night. And for Grand Blue, Fantasy versus Rising. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very nervous going into that. I really wasn't sure how it was gonna go. And I'm very happy to say that I'm really proud of how I did. So I do want to thank you guys a lot for everybody that was there to cheer me on and, you know, just come watch and spectate and give your support. It really meant a lot to me. You told me I was going to get top 8. You know, you did. You absolutely did. And you were right. You were right. So yeah, I got top 4, which is kind of wild. I have never had anything like that happen before. So I do want to do more in the future. So, you know, we'll see what opportunities present themselves in the future. But I do think that I'm not gonna, you know what? No, we're not gonna quantify it. I did well, and I'm cool with that. And regardless of whether or not I match that in the future, does not change the fact that I got it this weekend. So that's cool. And then today, hello Rex, how's it going? So today I was out all day at the Ren Fair again. I talked about that a little bit a couple weeks ago. We were there earlier last month, yeah. Speaking of Grand Blue, you're back in your era of questioning if you're good at the game. Okay, Jalen. Oh, Jalen. If I'm not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to do it either. Hi, Arietti. How's it going? Ref rank sessions will do that. Also, like, hang on, Jalen. I mean, here's the thing. I do completely understand. I understand that feeling entirely because I have it often. You're in the triple digits at this point. Oh my god. You know what else you're in the triple digits of? Your freaking Sandalphon and Masters. So, take that. But I understand, because like it's hard to keep that positive mindset when things feel like they're just going wrong, right? It's really hard. I have it happen to me frequently. I had it happen to me just prior to the tournament yesterday. Like, I spent a while in ranked yesterday and just had a really rough time, and I was just like, am I even good? Is there, like, what am I doing? So I get it. I totally do. I will say that, like, after yesterday, though, like, it really did help me to have that all happen yesterday and be like, hey, hang on. If even, Boss Man Poyo, turns around after the tournament and tells me, like, hey, I wasn't sure if I could open you up. Like, your blocking was like a wall. And the fact that I was able to kind of slow things down in that last like set with him and just be like, no. You might beat me, but I'm making you work for it. It just helped me to kind of get perspective on the fact that, like, yeah, I'm not good at everything in the game. Like, I'm allowed to say that, right? That's realistic. I am not good at everything in the game. And the same thing is true. Thank you for the hydrate, Sauron. Give me 1 second. And I think for most people, for most players, right, unless you are literally, top level pro players, like unless you're like Zane or something, right, up there competing and like getting to like finals and majors, right? Unless you're like that, and even in those cases, I'm sure those people would still probably say the same thing. Everybody has something in the game that they struggle at. Nobody's good at everything in it, and that's okay. So, like, I can admit that, hey, I am not great at a couple things, and some of those things are very, very visible. So long as I also then, turn around and go, hey, but hang on, I'm also really pretty good at spacing and steady pressure and defense, and like just making people have to mind things in neutral, right? Like, I'm pretty good at that. Even players significantly better than me have to contend with that when they fight me, and that wouldn't be true if I wasn't good at that. So this morning, before we went to the Ren Fair, I did some more ranked on Sandalfon and was just like, okay, win or lose is whatever, but I'm going to, I know I'm good at a couple things. I'm going to play to those strengths, and I'm just going to try to check people in neutral as best as I can. And it worked. It worked very well, actually. And so I've got him at S++2 now, and we'll see how that goes. I don't think that necessarily means that I have an easy path into Masters with him, but I do think if I keep my eye on Sandalphone, yes. I do think if I can keep my eye on, what my strengths are and playing to them, I think it will help. But let me catch up on chat here. Still proud of how I did. Thank you so much, Rex. I appreciate it. You're sorry you couldn't be there, but hearing that I did so well makes you very happy. I'm a great player, and don't ever forget that. Thank you, Urban. I really appreciate it. I really do. I'm very, very proud of how I did. I will say, oh, okay, hang on. I do see that that trigger Rich has from Spike Kirby. Let me get that real quick, and then I'll get back to some yapping. So, okay. Cow, 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 cow. Cow, 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 cow. But yeah, like honestly, there was it kind of. I was kind of shocked. Where is Grand Blue versus ASMR? I mean, I could do this. Hang on. Actually, that's pretty nice. I kind of like that. Sounds of this is my hitbox. Or my leaderless, I guess. It's not a hitbox brand, but anyways. I might do more of that later, so. But I was pretty, like, blown away. Mashing in Rage ASMR, oh my god. I was kind of blown away by the fact that, like, there was something kind of amazing about the fact that, like, everybody at the tournament who knew me looked at that bracket and was like, yeah, that round 2, if you make it past round 1, which I did on a bye, but you know, if you make it to round 2 in winners, that's gonna be, yeah, you're probably going to losers from there. And like, I also thought that. I was like, yeah, I'm fighting out of my league here. And then the fact that I won that was like, that kind of upset is wild, and I'm like, and it is like, yes, there were definitely blunders that Playo made in that fight. Could he have beaten me? Probably. Yeah, probably in a different set of circumstances. However, that doesn't take away from how I played at all. I would not have stood a chance in that if I was not playing that the way I did, and I'm very, very proud of that. I think it was pretty clear that he wasn't ready for the Wellness game plan to be interrupted, and yeah. I'm very, very happy with that. That, to me, right then, at that point, it didn't really matter what else happened. I was already, like, extremely happy with how I did at that point. And then I kept going, so, you know. Anyways, I'm catching up back on chat here again. I know this, but you take pride in your execution, and when you drop combos that you should hit 100% of the time, you get upset at yourself. Is it unreasonable? Yes. Do you still think like that? Yes. I understand that. I completely understand that. I have similar things happen, because, like, the thing I'm supposed to be good at, right? The thing that I just talked about again here, that I'm supposed to be good at, right, is neutral, defense, and pressure. And when I am just getting run over in neutral, or it feels like I'm cracking immediately on defense, or if I cannot open anybody up, then it starts to make me question that, right? It's like, hey, wait, this is the stuff I'm supposed to be kind of good at. Why is it not working? But, like, the fact is like, everything's relative. And also, we are not robots, right? You're never going to be operating at 100% efficiency all the time. That's not a reasonable thing to expect of somebody else, and it's not a reasonable thing to expect of yourself. right? And so we're allowed to make mistakes, even at the things we're good at. Like, I mean, like, I also make mistakes all the time while streaming. I make mistakes all the time while playing fighting games. I make mistakes all the time, like, playing platformers and everything like that, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not good at them. It doesn't mean I'm not good at any of that. And it just means that, like, hey, I blundered here. But again, that's like normal. Like, okay, you want to talk about a blunder from yesterday. The fact that, like, I had that first round against Rena. I had it. I 100% had it. And then instead of using my super, I used 2-1-4-U. And then I suddenly didn't have it anymore. And she beat me. And I think that set the tone for that second round, and she kind of ran me over. Do I think I would have won in bracket had I not done that? Had I done that properly? Not necessarily. There's a very strong chance. Brenna is an amazing player. There's a very strong chance she would have mounted a comeback and taken that 2-1, right? But it would have been 2-1 at that point, right? And maybe that tone is that tone being set, right, changes things. It does. But it's okay. It happens. Like, was it a really stupid mistake? Yeah. Did I throw away a win? Yeah. But you know who else threw away a win? Like, looking back at that first set, or that set with Poyo, where he was playing his Wellness, he probably should have taken that. And he also blundered in his super input. So that doesn't mean that my win doesn't count. It absolutely does. It also means that, like, Brenna's win against me absolutely counts. We make mistakes. We're not robots. So, like, it just happens, right? So, like, that's all part of it. So I realize this is one of those things where it's like, hey, Sucrose, how about you practice what you're preaching? And it's like, yeah, true. Because I definitely struggle with the same stuff, right? We both made mistakes in the first round, but yeah, of course. That is all part of fighting games, right? What makes somebody a better player than somebody else is so granular and so varied and has so many variables at play that it's actually really hard to genuinely say, and I realize this makes me a giant hypocrite, but it's really hard to genuinely say who is the better player in the moment. It can shift. And in that moment, it went in my favor. And that is just how it goes. So, right? And then other things did not. But, like, you know, basically, I guess my point is, like, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to have things go wrong sometimes. It happens. It's going to happen. It's happened in the past. It's going to happen in the future. Part of improving is minimizing those things, but I don't think you can ever stop them. Like, even pro players up on, you know, the Evo stage for top 8 make mistakes. That's how games get won at that level. Games get, at that point, when execution is that, like, high at that point, and those skill levels are that sharpened, it all comes down to who made a mistake, whether that's a dropped combo, whether that's a wrong choice in neutral, whether that's anything like that. So like, and I've talked about that before, right? Like, yep, yep, it did. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you watch play at that level, like, you still see those kinds of things happen. And it's, I know I've said this before on these streams, but like, it's part of how I've worked towards trying to take particularly hard losses in stride. Because, you know, you can watch top level play in tournaments, in majors, and watch a particular player just get blown up at that level, and it's like, whoa, this is so one-sided, what the hell? But like, does that mean that player was bad? They'd probably kick my ass, right? So like, fighting games are volatile. Stuff happens, and like, sometimes you get perfected, and getting perfected does not mean that you can't win against that player, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad player. It just means that it happened, right? And you dust off and you try again. I have won sets against players who have perfected me in the first round. I have gotten perfected in round 1 and come back to win the set. I have perfected people in round 1 and they've won the set against me. Like, it happens. So, I get it. I completely get it. But I guess my point is, like, getting perfected shouldn't hurt. I mean, it also does, you know, it doesn't feel good to get perfected, obviously, but it's also not a defining moment of who you are as a player, right? It happens. So, yeah. Overall, Jalen, like, you are one of the best players that I know personally, in terms of like high execution and like just strong, like, offense. And like, my cats are running back and forth and I don't know how much the mic is picking that up. But so if it is picking them up, I apologize. I lost my train of thought because I'm like hearing like doop, 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 as they're like sprinting back and forth across the hallway. But like, you are exceptionally strong in that area, and just because something went wrong a couple times, even an entire day's worth, right? Because sometimes you have bad days, it just happens. Despite that, right? Like, that doesn't change because you have a bad day, right? My neutral is not suddenly garbage because I have a bad day in ranked, right? I'm still pretty good at it. I'm not the best at it. I have a ton in there that I can improve on, but better than average? That is my strong point. And to the point that it carries the fact that I can't do damage worth half a crap. So, you know. Let me see here. Hang on. Catching up. Your DPS will never be as good as what raid bots tell. Yeah, no, that's another like really good example, honestly. Like, as somebody who used to do MMO raids, right? Like, your, like, when you check bots for like your gearing and stuff, and it's like, well, this is what your, like, this is what your DPS quote unquote should be at this gear. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's assuming that you have, you know, perfect, you know, execution down to the millisecond, and that you actually have the time and like means in a fight to just stand there and go through your rotation, and that never happens. So yeah, exactly. Like, you can, if you, so like, let me put it this way. When it comes to like combo execution, right? Somebody who, like Jalen, is very good at it, right? That doesn't mean perfect, right? You might do a combo 1,000 times, and 900 of those times, 900, 90%, right? 900 of those times you execute it flawlessly. 100 times out of those 1,000, something goes wrong. Those 100 times don't nullify the 900 times, right? I don't know. I'm kind of blabbing, but I hope that makes sense, right? We evolve beyond the person that we were a minute before. Little by little, we advance with each turn. That's how a drill works, exactly. Yeah. We get a little bit better and a little bit more consistent. And setbacks don't nullify what came before. Bruce Lee quote about honing the same technique about 100 times. Yeah, basically. Let me see here. Your offense is okay, but your defense is definitely lacking. I mean, it's actually kind of interesting. Also, hello, Ali. How's it going? Can I call you Ali or Ali Yukon? Let me know which you prefer. I've probably asked that before, and I apologize for not remembering. It's actually kind of interesting, Jalen, because I feel like we have almost polar opposite strengths, which I think is why our fights can be very interesting, and why it does often feel like one or the other of us has a leg up over the other at the time, because it really does come down to who. Ali is fine? Awesome. That's why you say we're even. I still think that given, it depends on the matchup. It really does. If I'm allowed to, wait, if you start your oppression first, you'll win the game 9 times out of 10. Yeah, maybe. But I'm also very passive. So, like I brought this up before, that like, when one of the reasons why it does actually feel like, as a player, I don't struggle with Willness as much as some other people have been, which is not to say that I don't struggle with him at all. I've definitely been murdered by that guy a lot. But part of the reason why it doesn't feel as oppressive to me is the fact that, like, by nature of his kit, he has to go slow. And going slow is what I want. I want you to go slow. If you go slow, I am probably favored at that point, because I can dictate the pace of the match. People who play fast, I tend to struggle against. That doesn't mean I can't beat them. It just means that I can get easily overwhelmed if somebody gets on top of me immediately and basically just doesn't let me start. Which is why I swapped when I did in that last set. I swapped to Jita specifically because I didn't think I could keep up on Versusia. I did think I could keep up on Jita, and it kind of proved true. Like, oh my god. Okay. Anyways, I kind of think it did prove true. Like, I didn't win that, But one of those rounds came very close to me being able to take it. When I played Jita into your Narm, it's because Jita is very, very good at just playing basic Grand Blue. And like, I can play basic Shoto in Grand Blue pretty decently. And yeah, so that is part of where sometimes I can struggle with Versusia, because if Versusia is not getting those stray hits, she has a harder time running that kind of game. Hello, CJ. How's it going? But she has a harder time running that kind of game, which isn't to say that she can't do it. She definitely can. That might be one of the big things I can improve on, honestly, in the future, is getting my Versusia up to par with my Jita in terms of just like, you know, if I don't get the opportunity that I normally would need on her, or if somebody's just like, I'm just gonna block you, and it's like, okay, well, all right, what am I doing then? There's room for me to improve that, and I think I can, and I have people in place to help me with that, so that might be what I'm working on in the near future. So we'll see. If I can do that, I think my Versusia becomes a lot scarier, but we'll find out. So that's for me to work on. I do think my biggest point of opportunity across the board is I just don't capitalize on wins in neutral to the extent that I should. I will get a lot of stray hits that just don't lead to anything, and I need to do better about actually doing something with them. I think I'm starting to improve on that front, but it's a long process. Anyways, so that was all Saturday. I'm very happy with how I did, though. I really, really am. And I'm looking forward to improving more and continuing to play. And I'm very, very happy to have been able to give you guys something to get excited about like that. So today, I spent most of the day at the Ren Fair, so I'm very tired from that. But it was a lot of fun. It was not quite as hot out as we were worried it would be. It also was supposed to storm today, but we got the storms yesterday instead, which is why my freaking internet collapsed on itself. Affirmations. So, okay, I'm making sure, because I'm pretty sure that I understand that, Urban. You're asking me to do affirmations to myself. I'm okay with that, but I'm just making sure that's what it is. Directed towards me. That's what I figured. Yeah, I can do that. Okay. I don't know what it says about me that I'm infinitely more uncomfortable doing that than any other of these, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it, and it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to, so. I did very well. There's room to improve, for sure. Everybody has room to improve. Everybody in that tournament, even the people who played the best, all have room to improve. So, saying that is somewhat besides the point. So, it's true, unambiguously true, that I outperformed my own expectations. And I should probably pay attention to that, about the fact that, yeah, I am actually very good at a lot of things in that game. I did really, really well, and I have every reason to be proud of that and of myself. And I'm a very, very good bear. Very good bear, Sucrose. Good bear, very good bear. How is that? I don't think I pulled any punches on that in terms of underselling. I probably could have gone harder on gushing about myself, but I'm not comfortable doing that. So. But I think I was sincere, so. But yeah, the storms hit yesterday instead of today. So that was, in a way, for today, that was very fortunate. We didn't get caught out in the Ren Fair in the storms. But also, I did lose power 3 times while trying to set up stream, which was absurd. But also, I'm glad that it did resolve itself. There was a very, very brief moment where it looked like I was not going to be able to take part. I was going to have to DQ myself because I could not stay online long enough without the power flickering and my computer shutting down. But thankfully, at the last possible second, it did, in fact, get worked out. But that means today we didn't have any storms, and it was actually not too bad outside heat-wise. It was still fairly warm and kind of humid. We still are in, late summer, I guess. But it was fun. We took one of our friends who doesn't get to go very often along with us because they don't usually have groups to go with. And we watched one show. It was an aerial silks thing that was insane, and I got very, very nervous seeing a very pretty lady dangle from silk like several stories up in the air. So but it was still fun. I got my big, stereotypes, whatever. My big purchase was there's a store there that sells a lot of different varieties of honey, and I got a big jar. I didn't necessarily want to get the biggest jar, but that was all they had. I got a big jar of hot honey, and I'm very excited about that because hot honey is amazing. And we took a sample because they have tasting samples of all of them, and got to take a taste of their hot honey, and it is, oh boy, it punches you in the mouth hard. It is very, very spicy, but I'm okay with that. I want it to be very spicy, so but it's one of those things that I genuinely just like eating it as a snack. I was hoping they would have like honey sticks of the hot honey, but they didn't, but it's okay. So we got the jar instead, and it's going to last us a while because it is absurdly large. But just like, I don't know, a spoonful of it is like good snack. But also oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys have had how many of you guys have had genuine pepper infused honey before, but on stuff like putting it on pizza is amazing, or as dipping for chicken nuggies. Super good. Oh, maybe I should get chicken nuggets for lunch tomorrow, because I can use that for that. I might do that. Okay, that's for later. Dino nuggies. Yeah, no, 100%. It's just so good. Like I said, if you guys have not had it before, so long as you are somebody who either likes or at least tolerates heat, um, like definitely try it. It's super good. Like, I don't know, like sweet plus spicy is like such a good combination, and like, it's just good. It's good. I still have, like, the last time I went, I talked about this too. Like, I still have, like, I picked up, basically a sampler, like a big sampler pack of like 100 honey sticks of like different varieties. Last time I still have a bunch of those. And like, it's really interesting to me. And yes, I know the like amusing nature of Bear VTuber talking about honey and honey varieties, but you know, it's fine. Sucrose and Susie sitting down for dinner to dino nuggies with hot honey for dipping and watching anime. Honestly, actually, we're gonna be doing something similar to that tomorrow night, but we're watching, I talked about this before, I think. We're working our way through the show, What We Do in the Shadows, which is a, like, I guess, mockumentary series, like fake documentary series about like a group of vampires like living in New York. You're aware of such a show. It's so good. It's so good. We're like, I think 4 seasons in now. It's so good. Oh my god, that show is so amazing. It's really funny. I'm really enjoying it. So we're doing that tomorrow. So, but yeah, basically. But no, it's really interesting to me because like, with like a lot of the different, with like the honey sticks that I did get, right? They are not infused because like they sell that particular storefront sells like 2 different, like, well, not 2 different, they sell a lot of things, but basically they sell infused honeys, which are, you know, honey that have some kind of flavor added to them. So like the hot honey is an infused honey because, right, like honey on its own is not going to be particularly spicy, right? It's just not, like, there's no way to make that happen like naturally. So, you know, you got to infuse that flavor into it by just kind of adding it, right? So like they have stuff like that, some like fruit flavor infusions. They had a matcha cream one that was actually really good. But then they also have like non-infused honeys that are just like from different sources of like plants and flowers. Basically the bees just pollinating, you know, creating honey from the pollen of those particular plants. And it's super interesting to me, like how different the flavors and just like, I guess, the eating experience of those individual honeys are based on the difference of plant source, right? Like, for example, like, there's one from a plant called vetch blossoms, I guess, that like is super sweet, and like I might be nuts, but I think it tastes like buttercream frosting. Like, I think it just straight up tastes like frosting. It's super good. I really like it. It's amazing. But then like there's also one, like there was one that was like a coriander blossom honey, and that one was not that sweet, and kind of tasted very like, not spicy as in hot, but spicy as in like there was sort of like a sharper like bite to it in terms of like a spice flavor, right? It didn't taste like coriander, right? But it did have kind of a sharper taste to it, and it wasn't anywhere close to as sweet. And then there's like buckwheat blossom, or maybe just buckwheat, I'm not actually sure. And that one's like almost like molasses. It's like super thick and like sweet, but also kind of bitter at the same time. Like, anyways, like, I didn't actually realize prior to, like, getting stuff from this place, like, just how drastically different you could have completely natural occurring honey with nothing done to it, outside of, making sure that the bees have a particular thing to grab pollen from. Um, how drastically different you can get honey to taste completely naturally like that. It's super cool. Anyways, we also stopped by a dice store, like D&D dice. That was super cool. They had a bunch of like varieties of like, they had some resin ones, they had some glass one, like polished glass or whatever. They had some like gemstone ones, they had a bunch of metal ones, and it's just like, these are really cool. I didn't need any dice, but Suzu did, and so she got some really, really cool like resin dice that had like a liquid core to them. So like, it's got like, I think it's glitter, I think, on the inside, that like, so as you roll it, you just kind of get like a little swirly on the inside. Have a good night, Spike Kirby. Thank you for stopping by. Sleep well. Sleep well. Good night. Good night. So like, yeah, as you roll them, you get like little swirlies happening on the inside, and that's super cool. So, they also have like, I think it was like koi fish along them on the outside as like the pattern, and they were really pretty. Last time we were there, I got a dice tower, which is like just like a thing you can set up to like drop your dice in, and it basically rolls it for you, right? Because it like tumbles down the tower and then goes out into a tray. And that's just really fun to use. So like, I had a dice tower before, but it wasn't working great anymore. Like, it was felt, and I think the felt like kind of warped over time. So like dice were getting stuck in the tower. So this one was made of wood, like entirely out of wood. So like, it rolls very, very nicely in that. So I got that last time. Didn't get it this time. Didn't get anything from them this time, but it was also super cool. I last time, which we found this out real time in chat last time after I did my stream, after we got back from the Ren Fair last time. Turns out that fellow FGC VTuber that I am friends with, Umbra Sykes, who you guys have seen around in chat before, and I think we've read it out to them a couple times. Turns out that she works at that particular Ren Fair and actually helped Suzu out at a booth, completely coincidentally, completely without us realizing that until after the fact when I was talking about it on stream, and then she was like, wait a second, hang on, what do you mean you were there? Thank you so much, Rose. Is it Rose the Manual Cat? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful night. But so this time, because we knew we were able to stop by and I was able to meet them in person and I was able to say hello, and that was really cool and super cute, super sweet. You watched Weapons? You watched Weapons? Is that like a show? Or am I being dumb right now? Extremely strange but interesting movie. Really? What was it about? I'm curious. I'm curious. But yeah. What else did we do? Mostly just kind of walked around, looked at shops. Our friend bought a handful of things. We got some yummy food. Had a really, really like good portobello like mushroom sandwich. That was really good. And like, I think that's gonna be my go-to whenever we go to the Ren Fair now, because like, I've gotten the heavier kind of like fried foods there before, and those are good, right? But like, I always get halfway through those and I'm like, oh, I feel like crap now. Um, this was like really light, really easy to eat, and like super, super tasty. Like, I mean, I know not everybody is like into mushrooms as a food, but like if you do like the taste of mushrooms, like these sandwiches were like really good. And like it's so fragrant when you walk by that booth, and I'm just like, no, this smells amazing and I want it. Please. Thank you. Anyways, you'll have to see it. Basically, 17 kids run out of their houses at 2:17 a.m. into the dark, and they haven't been seen since. You'll have to watch it. You don't want to give any spoilers just in case. Okay, is it like a horror movie or mystery, or like what kind of movie is it? Like, I'm going to assume based on the description that it's probably horror, but I don't actually know. So, one horror movie you get bombarded, horror slash suspense. So like light horror, I guess, like more suspense than horror, I guess. I don't know. There's always kind of like that weird dividing line between like what counts as, like, what makes a horror movie a horror movie. Like, at what point do you cross that line from suspense into horror? And I'm not sure what the answer is to that. Mostly, I guess, I think in my mind, it comes down to like either like disturbing content or imagery, or like heavy on jump scares or something. I don't know. Like suspense being more like, you know, story where people are in danger, but it's not so much like there's not so much like a supernatural element at play. Or could you tell a little story about your weekend if you don't mind? Absolutely, go for it. And that goes for everybody. Like, I want to hear how your guys' weekends went. Like, I didn't say it at the front here. I usually do, and I apologize. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to hear how your guys' weekends went. Please do tell me. If you guys got to do anything fun, went out to any exciting places, got to eat any particular yummy foods. I love hearing about that from you guys. So, but yeah, because like, I guess suspense is like, I think it comes down to, for me, I guess, because like you can have horror movies that aren't supernatural horror, right? I don't know what that cutoff is. All I know is I tend to not do super well with horror, but I don't do too badly with suspense. But that line is fuzzy and weird, and I don't know where one ends and the other begins. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Or at least it sounds like you enjoyed it. You went on vacation this weekend. Your family rented a cabin on lake. That sounds amazing. You had a great time. You picked out what you thought were fruit snacks. When you opened them, it turned out that they were fruit sticks, like stamped flat fruit jelly sticks, and they reminded you of Soylent Green. So you were joking about eating Soylent Green all weekend. That's great. I think I've had, like, are they like the preserved, like, fruit strips or whatever? Like, is that what we're talking about? Because I think I know what you're talking about with that. Definitely gonna get it in 4K Blue. So yeah, you definitely did enjoy it if you're talking about that, then. Worth rewatching along with Sinners. I'm actually trying to think, what was the last movie I saw? Because I watch a lot, I watch a lot of anime. I try to watch a lot of anime. And I do watch a fair amount of, like, I mean, I watch a lot of streams and YouTube and stuff like that, but, like, it's actually, I don't watch a ton of movies. Things I always saw Welch's and thought fruit snacks while looking in the box. No, I understand that. I've had similar things, definitely, for sure, in the past. Um, I think they're pretty good. Like, they're definitely different, right? Like, you're not, if you're craving fruit snacks, it's not quite the same thing. It's like a lot less sweet, right? And more like, I guess, tastes more like preserves, right? Um, than like gummies, right? So, um, but that's also good, right? So it's not a problem. It's just different. Um, but yeah, the last movie I saw, um, I think it was I think the last movie we saw was it wasn't as chewy as gummy since it was Soylent Green and all. Oh yeah, of course. Just don't look at the ingredients list. It's fine. Why would you need that? Why did I even bring that up? Don't worry about it. The last movie I think I saw was the Dungeons and Dragons, like the Honor Among Thieves, I think was the name of it. With not Chris Evans and not Chris Pratt. It's the other Chris. What's his last name? Chris. He's he was in Wonder Woman and other things that I suddenly can't remember. He's the third Chris. Wait, maybe that is Evans. No, Chris Evans is Captain America, right? There's too many Chris's. Anyways. That was the last movie I saw. Is the point. I guess. And then prior to that, we watched all the Paddington movies, which were actually awesome. Actually super awesome. I loved them. I guess not surprising, all things considered. But point being, there's not a whole lot of movies that... I know we are looking... I guess the most recent movie in terms... No, I think the most recent movie that has come out that we've seen would be Paddington, the third Paddington movie. I was going to say Wicked, but that came out earlier. That came out the end of last year. Which I am very much looking forward to seeing the next one of those. So, we were actually trying to look for movies that we wanted to watch in theaters, and there just aren't that many that I'm that interested in going to see. The Demon Slayer movie, for sure, but we already have plans to see that with a friend. So, like, in terms of, like, date night movies, I don't think one's really coming out for a while that we're all that interested in. I think it's gonna be Wicked and maybe Zootopia 2 at the end of the year. But the cabin was pet friendly, so you brought your 9-year-old dog. He went swimming for the first time. What? He went swimming for the first time, and after that he decided that he was a pro at swimming. He just jumped straight off the top. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh man, like, it's so funny, like, because, like, I'm not used to the idea of having a dog that enjoys water. Because Poe was just not as, like, he hated going in the water. And, like, the thought of a dog that just jumps into the water is just, like, kind of mind-blowing. I know that it happens. I know that they do. I know that there are dogs that like it, but it's such a weird thing trying to, like, wrap my head around. So, but we'll see. Maybe our next dog will like it, and that will be wild. You'd put Weapons on the short list if I can see it in theaters. Otherwise, I can wait till it lands on streaming platforms or something. I might look at the trailer for it. There's a strong possibility that it's not really my thing, to be honest, because, like I said, horror movies are... It's difficult for me to get into horror movies. It just is very, very difficult. However, if it's an interesting enough premise, I can be convinced. But I'll take a look, because maybe it'll, like, catch my interest, and I'll go take a look at it. Or maybe I look at it and, like, maybe not my thing. I think that might be the deciding factor about whether or not I try to see it in theaters. Like, if it's like, oh no, I have to see this, then yeah, in theaters is definitely a thing. But if it's like, I don't know about this, then in that case, it might be more of like, yeah, let's wait till it comes to streaming. Because that way it's like, okay, I can watch this, and then, like, if I'm not feeling it, then, like, then I can nope out, right? But that's harder to do. Not that you can't do that in a theater, but at that point you've paid for the tickets, and you've gone all the way there, and it's just like leaving. I don't think I've ever left a movie. I've never left a movie in the theaters early. I've even movies that I just really didn't like and really wasn't feeling. And I'm just like, okay, how much longer before this movie's over? Even those, I stayed for the whole thing, right? So, I don't think I've ever walked out on the theater before. I'm actually curious, like, if that's a thing, because I know people do that. I know that's a thing people do. And, like, I'm curious, like, whether or not that's something you guys have done and what movie it was. Hello, Cloud Knight. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for the head pats. Let me see. Catching up on chat. You don't even know if he liked it or not. He saw the family in the water and decided he was going to be with them. You were standing on the dock holding his leash. Your brother grabbed him by his jacket handle and helped him back to shore, but he swam pretty good for his first time. He'd never been deeper than his paws in water before now. That's kind of wild. Yeah, like, with our dog, like, it, not only did he not want to be in the water, like, if we were in the water, he would start freaking out. Like, he would just start, like, barking at us, like, no, what are you doing? Get out of there. You don't want to be in there. Get out of there. Why are you in there? Please. Like, like, to the point that we, when we had him up at the lake house, on vacation, like, that one time, we actually had to, Miss Go, your bed needs you? Absolutely, Cloud Knight. Thank you for stopping by. Sleep well, Cloud. Sleep well. Good night. Good night. We had to, like, keep him inside, basically, when we went out, onto the lake, because, he would just panic and start, like, barking like crazy, like, and sound carries very, very strongly over that lake, so it's like, oh my gosh, like, everybody out here right now can hear him. So like, yeah, it's kind of wild. Let me see here. What else do we got here? You're extremely picky about horror, and it's hard to do right. I understand that. Last movie you saw in theaters was Long Legs with your oldest brother because his friends were hyping it up as the greatest horror movie of the century. You left thinking it was and he told you, and you quote, he needs to find new friends. I mean, you know, tend not to overhype things because due to personal preferences sometimes. Yeah, no, that's I agree with that. Like, I think even for things that I, like, just think are objectively really good, like, there is like, I try not to oversell it, right? Like, I could tell people, and I have, right? Like, I'm guilty of doing it too, right? But like when it comes to anime stuff, it's like, I think Odd Taxi is one of the best series that have come out within the past decade. And I really do think like more people should watch it. However, I also can recognize that it is not going to be a series for everybody. And depending on their tastes, it might be super boring for them. I don't think for most people it would be, because I think it's extremely compelling. But like, if somebody is like looking for, when they, if what they really really want is like, you know, shonen battle anime, they're not gonna like Odd Taxi. It's very much not that, right? So like, you know, that's a thing. Like, I also like really freaking love Deltarune and think it's an amazing game and think that like a lot of people would enjoy it. But I also can recognize that that series and the series that came, like that game and its like predecessor, have been hyped to hell and back, and some people just are sick of hearing about it, and I get it, right? So like, it's like, yeah, I don't need to sell people on certain things, right? I don't need to sell somebody on the thing that everybody is already talking about. They already know about it. If they want to do it, they will. So when it's more something that I feel like is more unknown, I'm more likely to talk to people about it and kind of try to sell it, right? But also, it's like tastes differ pretty wildly, right? And like, there's nothing worse. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of things worse. But it's not a great feeling to be like, oh my god, you have to watch this thing. It's going to be amazing. You'll like, I really liked it. I think you would love it. And then that person watches that thing and they just kind of like I think Sungwon, you know, ProZD had a skit about this at one point where it's like a thing that you are like way into and like really really hyper fixated on, and like, this is amazing, I love this so much, and like, okay, I'm gonna show this to my friend, and they just watch it stone faced the entire time, and it's just like, oh, they don't like this, oh no, like that feeling sucks, right? So but yes, hello Zen, welcome in. How's it going? How's your weekend been? How was your day? Good job making top 8 in the tournament, by the way. Congrats. Busy weekend. Yeah, no, for reals, me too. Good job to me for making top. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still a little bit in shock that it happened, but could easily have flipped, could easily have wound up flipped, you know, but so like, I think you should be proud too. So just chilling tonight, catching up on your Uma and Honkai. I'm so far behind in Star Rail. You didn't watch the VOD, but well done, thank you. The VOD's a little bit, so I will say, if you want to see the entirety of everything, you might have to go to Serena's VOD for that, because I had issues at the very start of mine, and did not actually have my stream running immediately. However, if you do go on YouTube to look at the VOD there, it does start immediately at my first match. It's just, I think, actually, wait, did I, here, hang on, let me take a look. I don't remember if it's one round in or if it's like, let me just take a look here. Oh, No, never mind. It's the end of the first round. So actually, no, you can watch my VOD. You can watch my VOD for it. You just miss the very beginning. Well, I shouldn't say very beginning. You miss the first 40 seconds or so of the first round, but everything else is there. So yeah, if you want to watch the VOD, the VOD from my end is totally fine. Like, I will say, if you want to watch that round from the very beginning, then Serena's would be the way to go, because then you also get her commentary as well. You don't get me talking at that point, but you can hear her commentary as well for that too. So, but yeah, I'm super, super proud of how I did, and I'm happy that the VOD exists also, because it gives me something to go over with Kyo later, to kind of analyze where some things went well and where some things went wrong, and things I need to improve on. So I'm glad that that exists for that. So thank you so much. Is that Surya Katana for the follow? I really appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful evening and a good weekend. Thank you again for the follow. Totally understand what I'm saying. You always try to get a feel for what people like before you recommend something to them. That's why I asked if I like Mex a couple weeks ago. Yeah, for sure. Well, because, like, that's the thing with, like, games in general. Games, anime, movies, books. It's like... Actually, we were talking about this, weirdly enough, talking about this in the context of, like, I guess beverages, we can say. Because it was about coffee. Because, like, our friend was, like, on their way over so that we could go to the Ren Fair, right? And, like, they stopped to get coffee for us, and I was like, oh yeah, get me a cold brew. And, like, they were like, oh, okay, well, what do you want in it? And I'm like, no, just a cold brew. And they're like, okay, but what do you want in it? And I'm like, nothing. Just a cold brew. And they're like, nothing? And, like, that led to a conversation about, like, drinking coffee black, whether that's, like, hot coffee or cold brew or iced coffee, and just, like, I've talked about that before. I think that I mean, like, I don't think it's anything to, like, I don't think it means anything, but, like, yeah, like, a couple years ago, we had to cut a lot of things to, like, for a medical reason, briefly, not forever, right? And so at that point, it was like, well, I can't have energy drinks, and I can't have milk or sugar, so I still need caffeine. I'm still horribly addicted to caffeine, and so I'm gonna have coffee, and I guess I have to drink it black. And at the end of all of that, I was like, huh, I actually don't hate this. I may as well just keep doing it. And then I guess I just developed a taste for it, and now I just never put anything in my coffee. So but that led to, like, talks about you know, I think there's often, like, especially when you're talking about things that have, like, a lot of variety, so, like, food wise or drink wise, like, coffee maybe not as much, right? Because, like, while there is a pretty broad range of experiences in coffee flavors, they're all really within the same ballpark of themselves. So if somebody just doesn't like coffee, it's hard to find a coffee they might enjoy, even though it's possible. But, like, we were talking about it in the context of beer, and, like, for the longest time I was like, I don't like beer. I just don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. And then actually Susie was the one who kind of helped me out with that and was just like, hey, like, you know, beer is a pretty broad category, there's a lot of different kinds. So because I think specific, like, it's not like she was like trying to pressure me into it. I think I said something along the lines like, I wish I liked beer because like I never know like what to drink if we're going out like drinking socially or whatever. And so like she was like, well, you know, if you want to try to find a beer that you like, we can try different things, right? And and because of that, like we did try a bunch of different things, and I did find things that I genuinely liked, and now I know which beer I like, I guess. And that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna find something, but like the same thing I think is true of like if somebody's like, I don't like anime at all, chances are pretty decent that like if they were open to trying stuff, then they could probably find something, right, that they enjoyed, right? Because anime is not a monolith. It's not really even a genre, it's a medium. And so you can probably find something they'd enjoy. Granted, again, like people have to be open to trying, and you know, you don't want to like force anybody into something they're not wanting to do. I don't know what my point was. I don't know what my point was. I guess just that like tastes vary pretty drastically, and a lot of times people who are exploring their tastes will find the thing that they like, and that can be very different. Like I love sours when it comes to beer, right? I love sours. I especially love gozas, but like sours in general are just really good to me. I really, really like them. They tend to be fruity. They tend to not taste anything like beer. My point is bear rambles, I mean, basically. Like the first goza that I had, I was like, I didn't even think it was a beer. I thought it was like some variety of like just like a very, very mild wine or something, because I was like, this is just very like I never had anything like it before. And then I found out like, oh no, this is a beer. And I'm just like, but that led me to trying a bunch of other things, and it was super good. So, but like one of my friends, you know, is much more into like very dark and heavy stuff like stouts and stuff, and hates like sours and stuff, but both are valid options, I guess. I lost the point at some point and just rambled, but you know, anyways, everybody likes different things, and finding those tastes are good, and you can be an advocate for the things you enjoy while doing your best to be unobtrusive, I guess. Anyways. Speaking of Gambler, you gotta get the handle of Shotos eventually. You're used to long buttons to dealing with your opponent from a distance. We can try some games at some point, Ing, if you want to try to practice. Like, because Shotos tend to be I tend to be pretty decent at them, I think. It's, the strength for Shotos is like their flexibility. They can do a lot of different things. Sounds good. So far you got Jita to S++4. Is it normal Jita or EX? Not that it matters. She's a pretty standard Shoto either way, but I'm just curious. EX. I can't help you as much with EX Jita. I'm definitely not as comfortable with her. But also the general game plan still kind of applies. But there is a lot more of, because yeah, like your characters before were what? I know Fairy for sure. You did Fairy. You did Versusia. You did Matera? Basically, you did mostly zoners, right? Or characters that can act as zoners. I guess, Matera, Versusia, Galleon, and Zoe in that order. Zoe's the closest. She's the closest to, like, a Shoto out of those. So, like, a lot of what you probably implemented with Zoe should work with Jita, but you have to get used to the difference in buttons and specials for sure. Zoe's a weird character, but the same general thing kind of applies, but you do have to account for the difference in range for sure. And you have to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of characters are going to outrange you, and usually the trade-off is that you're pretty zippy in comparison. You tend to be pretty fast. You can rush in, like, not quite rush down to that extent, but you can close the distance and navigate neutral in that way. But it's definitely a gear shift, and I understand why you would be struggling. Which I don't mean that as I don't mean that at all as, like, a dig or anything, just that it's a very different play style for what you're used to. So you're not used to being outranged, definitely what's throwing you off. Yeah. Actually, I lost this match, right? However, like, this is a weird thing to like recommend, because I did definitively lose this. But if you go look at my match with Bossman Pollo in losers semifinals from Saturday, where I swapped to Jita, you can kind of, well, you can at least get a feel for what you can at least get a feel for how I play her, and like what I'm doing, especially against a character that definitely outranges her. Like, it's a lot of just, I mean, it's the footsies game, right? It's a lot of positioning. Do we still have some requests for ASMR? Absolutely, Huffy. You can put out some requests. We do have King Coffee on hand over on the Twitch end of things, who has volunteered his channel points to put in requests for anything that YouTube might be asking for. But let me, will this show? It won't show on here, I don't think, but let me try it just to see. Yeah, it doesn't show on the chat, so okay. I'll go ahead and read off the trigger list for requests. So, I can do microphone tapping, ear cupping or rubbing, makeup brush on the microphone, the wooden frog toy, game controller sounds, glass tapping, tongue clicking, trigger words or phrases, keyboard typing, brush scratching. The fizzy water's already been poured this stream, so I don't have that anymore. And I also said I was going to add, like, sniffs. Like that. Only I'll do it more emphatically. So if you want that, I can do that also. And also, if you have a request that is not in that list, you are more than welcome to request it. I may or may not be able to fulfill that request, depending on what it is, but I'll do my best. But please feel free to put in requests. That goes equally as much for everybody over on Twitch as well as on YouTube. Please just let me know. I'm happy to do it. At some point, I will probably start just doing some sounds anyways. But, you know, I enjoy getting off on tangents and talking with you guys. So, let me see here. Let me see. You can beat fireballs with her 5 up. Oh, EX Cheetah. Yeah. Her fireball is interesting, especially in comparison to normal. There's some things it's better at and some things it's worse at, but you can definitely play kind of a zoning game with Shotos. You can. They just don't have as many tools as I think you're used to for how that works. So it's tricky, but I think you can figure it out. And also, like, it's getting used to that, like, back and forth dance, I think. Mary's letter from Silent Hill 2. Okay, hang on. Back after getting your ass beat by your really good Grand Blue friend, but you took 1 game off the 3 tier. Ooh, look, sometimes that's, that can be a major accomplishment when it's somebody that is, I can go look it up, King Coffee, it's fine. I can look it up. It's not a problem. But let me see here. Man had 1.5k diamonds on the Lancelot. That's insane. Yeah, no, take that small win for sure. Alright, let me see here. Also been playing. I need to play more Uma, honestly. I don't play enough of it, which is a wild thing to say, but okay, let me see here. Mary's letter, Silent Hill 2. Okay. There it is. Okay, I can do that. Ooh, that is... Thank you so much. Is it Chutoy? Oh wait, is it Chutoy? Is that how it's supposed to... Or do I have that wrong? Regardless, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. Here we go. In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised me you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you to come see me, but you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you, something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that, but I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly lying here, waiting for you. Every day, I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most, especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I'm so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy. Okay, there you go, Huffy. I hope that was good. I hope I did that well. So it is like Chew Toy. Nice, nice. I'm glad I got that right. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Chew Toy. I appreciate the follow. I hope you're having a wonderful night and that you're having a relaxing end to your weekend. Did you do anything fun this weekend? Let me see here. You've been such a glass box of emotions. Aw, Puffy. Well, I hope that was satisfying in whatever way you needed it to be. But also, I do like getting the chance to like do readings like that. I think it's fun. I like getting to flex my my would-be like wannabe voice actor muscles. So, but yeah, he was GM at the start of the season. That's wild. I'm assuming that means he's not currently, but still, like, that's insane. Like that, and like on Lancelot, that's a character that's difficult to contend with, really. But I'm gonna take a moment because we are approaching 11 o'clock. Oh, just lazed. But it was comfy. That's totally legit. Got to rest up before another hectic work week. Hope mine was good. It was. Mine was very busy. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And honestly, like, slow weekends where you get a chance to laze about and relax can be really therapeutic. So I hope you enjoyed it. Good to hear it was comfy. And yeah, resting up before the work week is definitely a thing. It's a bit of it's a catch-22 for me always on Sunday nights, because it's like, I look forward to these ASMR streams, and I'm glad to be helping people get, settled down for the evening. Let me see. But then also it's like, man, Monday. It's time for you to head out for the night. Thank you for being such a great person and outstanding fighting game bear. Thank you, Urban. Have a wonderful evening, Urban. Good night, Urban. Good night. He fell out. He's been in GM with Lancelot, Seox, and Belial. Ugh, that is a trio of characters that are not easy to deal with, even outside of that level of play. So that is nuts. Thank you so much for the follow, Omega Collectibles. I appreciate it. Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Yo, Blazer, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, my weekend was good. Talked about it a little bit earlier tonight, but I was very busy. I had a tournament I took part in yesterday for Grand Blue Rising, and then today I was at the Ren Fair. So came home from that, was very, very tired. I kind of got my second wind about an hour into stream, though, to be honest. So I'm doing a little better in terms of energy levels. So, but yeah, it's been a full weekend for sure. And of course, we've got the week to look forward to, which is a mixed bag, but I think I'll be able to tackle my week as well as possible, and I hope you guys are also. But exclamation point triggers will bring up the potential trigger list if you want to put a request out there. Otherwise, I'm content to just be here yapping with you guys. I might do a couple sounds later. In fact, I think I might do one very soon here. I've got a thing I want to try on the 3DO mic, and I think it'll be nice. But if you have a thing you want to hear, definitely put your requests out there. But also, like I said, I enjoy just chatting with you guys too. So now you're contemplating hopping into Master's Queue late at night. That can be dangerous, but also contemplate playing Uni 2. Oh, that's right. Izumi come? Oh wow, I forgot that she was coming. I heard she was like supposed to be on the easier side, right? I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna try that game again. I'm so bad at it, but I don't know. She's also super cute. So I don't know. Maybe. From the looks of it, yeah. Okay. I might look into it. But Um, I I played Uni 2. I did a sponsored stream for Uni 2 actually, way back when it just came out. I had like game codes to give away. um, but it was one of those things where I was like, oh, hey, I'm doing all right at this. I think I've got the hang of this. And then I went into matches and it was like, oh, no, I didn't. What I thought were complete combos were like a third of a combo. And I was just like, oh, okay. Okay. Hang on. The game is definitely a wake-up call. It's very execution heavy, and we've already covered the fact that I'm not good at that element of fighting games. Who did I wind up playing? Lynn and Eltnam, mostly. Tell us about eucalyptus leaves and why having blue eucalyptus near the shower head during a warm/hot shower is extremely therapeutic. I mean, I don't... Do you want me to, like, look up the Wikipedia article on it? Or what? You play Yuzu, Landraka, and a little bit of Chaos. I barely played the game at all, so... played Yuzu rather hard for a bit with Uni 2. Yeah, I barely played it at all before I gave up on it, basically. Okay, I guess... Let's see. Blue... eucalyptus leaves. What do I know about eucalyptus before looking any of it up? I think koalas eat it. And it smells nice. And it's used in some aromatherapy stuff. That's about the extent of what I know about it. So... Funnily enough, Yuzu is the other really hard. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me, given you play Narmaya. Like, that makes sense. So, but yeah, no, Lynn, Eltnam, there was the girl with the sword and shield, I think, that I played a little bit of, too. I don't remember her name. I think I played a little bit of her also, though. Wagner. Okay, blue eucalyptus leaves. Therapy in shower benefits. The benefits of hanging eucalyptus in the shower and how to do it. Eucalyptus makes a beautiful addition to floral arrangements and is also striking as a standalone plant thanks to its beautiful blue-green, coin-shaped leaves. But the greenery is more than just a decorative piece. The fragrant scent that fresh eucalyptus emits has aromatherapeutic properties that make it beneficial as it is eye-catching. It's been shown to reduce inflammation, improve respiratory health, and give energy levels a boost. One way to reap the benefits of eucalyptus is by hanging it in the shower. Here, we explain the benefits to using eucalyptus in the shower, as well as how to make a bundle to hang over your shower head. So, there you go, I guess. Yeah. I don't actually know anything about eucalyptus, so but let me do a little bit of this now. So we haven't done a whole lot of sound triggers yet tonight, so I do have this handy here. You learned using eucalyptus leaves in the shower from one Jibby, or is it Jibby? Gibby? It's Jibby, I think, ASMR. I'm like realizing that like it's GB, right? Because like I haven't listened to her in forever, but I used to listen to her all the time. She was one of my go-tos. But it's been a while. There's a handful of ASM artists that I kind of cycle through. One of the patients here, me too. One of my first ones is actually still like a long time ago. Like one of the first ones I ever really like. One of the first videos, like back when I was like realizing that ASMR was a thing, was from I think Visual Sounds 1, I think is what her channel name is. And she still does role plays, like to this day. And I don't watch her stuff all the time anymore, but she is one of the ones I still go back to. I've actually been on a kick of like, I know this is gonna be like kind of funny given that like, I think I get a lot out of like deeper voices in for ASMR. So there's a handful of male ASM artists that I've been listening to lately. One of the big ones, I say male, I'm fairly certain Jim Chi is non-binary, so male is not the correct, but mask, I guess. Male ASMR artists like Bob Ross. I mean, Bob Ross also kind of counts, but no, Jim Chi is like one of the ones I go to a lot because like I love their accent, like a lot. Like the way that they have there's like a particular thing, like it's one of those things that like as you listen to, like as you find like favorites among, like there's oftentimes like very particular things that like an ASMR artist will do that gives you like instant tingles, instant trigger. And like for me, like Jim Chi's got like just the particular way that because like they'll be like talking like this and doing, you know, normal like just going through their sentence, but, and just the way that they say but like immediately gets me. I'm just like, oh yes please, yes please. I'm not doing it justice because like I also can't do their accent proper, because they're like amazing with accents, like they're like actually cracked at doing accents because like they're British, I think, but they've done like a bunch of different accents, like different European accents, different I think some like Russian accents and stuff like that too, and then also like American accent, and they actually can kind of nail the American accent too, which is kind of wild because like not everyone can. I feel like it's weird because like I don't think about it like as being a thing to like think about, but like I do feel like sometimes when British like ASM artists are trying to like mimic an American accent, it can be kind of like, oh, that sounds off, but like they're actually really good at it. Hello, Shadow Wolfpack Leader, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. But yeah, so that's kind of who I've been listening to lately for my own particular ASMR news. And then obviously like multiple other like ASM artist VTubers on Twitch, but that's more difficult to like have on while I'm going to sleep. That's more of like a wind down thing that I just have on in the background while I'm doing other things when I need to go to sleep. Like obviously there's Catch Up that I go into Catch Up streams when I can, when he's doing ASMR stuff. And then Jay is like also like, oh my god, I love Jay ASMR's voice. Or sorry, I think it's Jay VTuber is his handle, but like I love Jay's ASMR like voice. He's like so good at it. Minari V is also really, really good. Like, there's so many, like, just really good ASMR artist VTubers. Like, genuinely, I sort of feel like I don't do a great job at this. Like, I feel like I just kind of fumble my way through it most of the time. And, like, I think there's a lot of, like, really, really good ASMR artist VTubers out there that I kind of aspire to, like, trying to match and do a good job. I appreciate that. I know people have told me that my voice is very soothing, and I know I tend to, like, I come into these, like, yapping streams, like the simple ASMR streams, like, intending, if I did a horrible job, I'd know. Fair. I don't think I do a horrible job. I just think I could do a better job. But, like, I come into these streams, like, fully intending to do, like, a bunch of sound triggers, and then I just don't do them because I just wind up talking. But, like, I also know that people have told me that, like, they like my voice a lot for, like, just chilling out, and, like, I have a soothing voice to listen to, which I'm very grateful that people feel that way. I'm very flattered. So hopefully the fact that I don't do that many sound triggers isn't really, like, a major, I don't know, detriment to these streams. Although I guess if people really wanted them, they would be requesting them, so who knows. I guess maybe the yapping is fine then. Maybe the yapping is perfectly adequate. So that's one of your favorite ways to end your song. I'm really, really flattered, Rex. I'm really happy to hear that. The only problem with the yapping side of things is that occasionally I hit lulls where it's just like, okay, what do I talk about now? Oh no, I ran out of things to say. What do I do? What do I do now? The mess. But it usually doesn't last that long. Usually I pick back up and keep on going and find something else to yap about. Talk about the Mets or the newest season of Wednesday if I run out of things. Actually, I haven't ever seen Wednesday. Assuming we're talking about, like, the Addams Family show, I think, right? Gauze in the wind, blowing into the mic while saying gout. That is a difficult thing to do, but I will do my best. I'm excited for Lucy and Strive. I'm curious for Lucy and Strive for sure. One Wednesday, Morticia Addams, yeah. I'm curious for Lucy and Strive for sure. Like, the thing with Strive, like, it's actually really interesting because, like, oh wait, let me do this trigger request real quick before it gets lost. So, anyways, what was I saying? Oh, right. So, like, it's actually really interesting because, like, my experience with Grand Blue, right, has been one in which I've been playing a lot of different characters. But that's not super normal for me in a fighting game. Usually, I fixate on one. And in Guilty Gear Strive, it's definitely Bridget. Lucy having zoning-like buttons looks great. Interesting. So, like, there have been a couple of characters that have come out where it's been like, oh, I'm kind of interested in them. I want to try them out. Like, Elfelt was one, and Dizzy was another. And it was just like, yeah, I want to give them a try. I want to see how they're like. And I played them very briefly, and it was like, yeah, but I could be playing Bridget right now. And then I went back to Bridget. So, gotta play Strive more. Your performance in pulls was kind of underwhelming. Jalen. I went 0 and 2 at Combo Breaker. I went 0 and 2. It was bad. It was really bad. Like, but also it's like, yeah, sure, okay. I also don't really play Strive that often, so. Hello, Ketchup. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. How was your stream, Ketchup? How was your ASMR stream? I hope it went well. Ketchup Rain. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome in, Ketchup. How was your ASMR stream? I hope it went well. Hello, Raiders. Stream went well. I'm really glad to hear that, Ketchup. Hello, everybody who came in from Ketchup's raid. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Sucrose Yurishigaki, also known as Sucrose Collision. I'm a grizzly bear VTuber and a variety streamer. When I'm not doing ASMR, I'm usually focused on retro style content. I also do have a side focus in fighting games, which is why we've been yapping a lot about fighting games tonight, actually. I mostly play Grand Blue Rising, but I'm going to be trying to branch out to other things as well. And then Sunday nights, we do cozier content here, either full-on ASMR streams like tonight with the 3DO mic, or occasionally cozier gaming streams where I play a slightly more laid-back game, do some softly spoken yapping while I do some gaming, and wait, what? What do you mean what? What do you mean what? How? Huh? What are we talking about? Did I lose track of what was being talked about? What did I say? What did I say that caused that to happen? I don't know, but, anyways. The Twitch minigame. Huh? The minigame. Wait. Oh, the jump catch minigame. Oh. Huh. I don't know. I think sometimes if the star just hits you the right way, it counts as having gotten it, even if you didn't jump, I think. Anyways, if you like my vibes and you want to stick around, I appreciate follows and such if you want to see more of me, but obviously not a requirement at all. Also, from my end, guys, you guys know Ketchup, and the Colliders almost entirely should know Ketchup. Ketchup's here all the time, but if you didn't know that Ketchup streams, he does some amazing ASMR streams himself, so if you like those ASMR vibes, go check him out. Please go check him out. Go check out Ketchup. He's really good. You rambled about Pokemon, about put yourself to sleep with whispers, and ended the stream by performing cosmetic surgery on a sheep plushie. You pulled fur out of his seams. He's much fuzzier now. Ah, I see. Congrats on placing fourth. Thank you so much, Ketchup. I appreciate it. Hand cam on Sundays. Yeah, he does hand cam streams on Sundays. And I think, what is it, Wednesdays and Fridays? I think that you also do ASMR, I believe. That's correct. So, definitely check him out. But yeah, as Ketchup said, I competed in a Grand Blue tournament yesterday and managed to take fourth place, which is still insane to me. That's still absolutely wild to me. So I'm very, very proud of that. But yeah, Ketchup, if you or your raiders need to raid and run, I completely understand. Please take care of yourselves post-stream. Go and get some rest if you need it. But if you do want to hang out for some more cozy ASMR vibes, you're more than welcome to be here. And I'm super, super happy to have you. Thank you again so much for the raid catch up. I appreciate it so much. Also, you know how this works. If you have a particular trigger you would like me to do for you, please let me know. I think I know which one it is, but if you have something else instead, also totally fine. Just let me know in chat and I'll get that for you. But give me one moment because I think I know what it's going to be. So just getting a quick drink in there. But yeah, so we were talking about Strive characters. Thank you for the head pass, Dr. Snug. We were talking about Guilty Gear Strive characters and the fact that I keep on being interested in characters and then immediately going back to Bridget. I think with the new ranked system coming in, I might have an easier time trying different characters. Because, like, part of the problem with the old ranked system for Guilty Gear Strive was that if you were doing well on one character, right, and you were high up in the tower, and you swapped characters to a character you were not good at, you were still in the same place on the tower, and that was a struggle. So it was harder to get that kind of like learning curve experience. Like, I'm grateful that Granblue kind of has that built in, and I think Strive will too. I think it's gonna have very much the same kind of system, but I'm grateful that like Granblue had it built in. The soft scratching of fur. Do I have anything that counts as that? Actually, I think I might be able to replicate that with my makeup brush. That might work. I don't know. We'll try it. But yeah, I'm grateful that Granblue has a thing in place that, starts you out lower. Not super low, but lower on new characters if you haven't played them in ranked before. So it gives you a little bit of a cushion. But anyways, with the new rank system coming in Strive, it might be easier for me to try some things. But alright, let me see if I can make this work. Ooh, this is very, very soft, but let me see. It might still, if I go a little closer to the microphone, it might work. How audible is that? Is that working? It might work better if I did this. I think I might just do... That's pretty good? Okay. I'll do kind of a combination of both. I'm scratching the bristles. The problem is that it's very, very quiet. It's hard to get the volume up for that without basically bumping the microphone. Which is why I think it'd probably be better for me to do it like this. some point I may need to implement like a queue to keep track of things. I don't get enough requests currently to really need it yet. So it may never actually be a thing, but we'll see. But for now, hopefully this is good. Anyways. Yes, of course. If I start getting requests more frequently, but I think because other ASM artists, VTubers have had like lists of like a queue list visible, so that like it shows what the trigger is currently and what it's going to be coming up. So, but you know, it's a thing. So. Okay, I hope that was good. I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, so Lucy looks neat. I would like to check her out. Thank you so much, Samariati, for the posture check and the headbands. Can you have some switches? I thought you were going to request that, so I got here. Let me take another drink real quick here. But yes, absolutely, you can catch up. Okay, catch up. Here you go. There you go, catch up. Thank you again for the raid. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'll probably check out Lucy when she drops. Hello, Reload. Is it Reload Clips? It's going well. It's going well. I hope you're having a nice and cozy evening and end to your weekend. Yep. Absolutely catch up, of course. Anytime. Thank you again. What was I saying again? Oh, right. Yeah, Lucy looks neat. I'm curious to try her, and we'll see if I stick with her or if I do the thing I always do, which is like go like, but what if I played Bridget and then I just play Bridget? So sorry to raid and run. You need to record some ASMR and we'll get some more soup before bed. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the lurk. Yes. If I don't, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Is it Zarif? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Let me see here. Let me know if I don't message you tomorrow. Catch up, please. Message me, okay? And we can talk about it because I do want to figure that out. Thank you so much for the first time chat. How's it going, Zarif? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Zarif Kroll? Absolutely, catch up. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for the lurk support and thank you for the raid again. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good to hear. You can't sleep. It's getting to the point where even if you did sleep, you'd wake up late. Ooh, that sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that, Reload. I hope I'm able to help out a little with that. But no, that sucks. Like, as somebody who has dealt with insomnia, especially like at really inconvenient times, like it's always a very like frustrating thing to have to deal with. And so I hope that you're able to find the space and peace of mind to be able to get some rest. Try to have everything but your head won't shut up. That is a mood, my friend. I suffer from a lot of anxiety. Whether that's, you know, I've talked before about the fact that, like, I was diagnosed a long time ago with anxiety. But there's a strong possibility, and it hasn't really borne out testing-wise yet. I haven't had that happen. That was a weird way to say that. I haven't actually had testing done yet, basically. There's a strong chance that I was actually misdiagnosed and that I'm probably suffering from ADHD instead. But I don't actually know that for certain yet because I haven't been tested, so I can't say with 100% certainty. However, point being, my brain runs frantic very, very frequently, and it is very inconvenient when that happens at night when trying to get sleep. It's kind of the worst because it's just like you just want it to shut up. You just want your brain to shut up. You just want it to be quiet for like a minute and just be like, please just let me sleep. Please just let me drift off. I wish I had a definitive answer for how to deal with that and how to solve that problem. Unfortunately, I don't really, because if I did, I'd use it on myself too. So, I mean, ASMR stuff does help me a lot personally. If I can have something on to fixate on and let my brain fixate on that helps sometimes. But even that, there are nights where it just doesn't work. And it's just like, I'm laying here and I know I'm in trouble when like I actually get to the end of an ASMR video, right? Just relating to someone really helped. Of course. I'm happy to have given some relief there, even if it's just being able to be somebody that understands, right? Because like, man, it can be bad sometimes where it's just like, I've been lying here for several hours now. And again, like I said, like when ASMR stuff works for me and I drift off to sleep, it happens pretty fast. And it's like, I know the beginning of so many ASMR videos and not the end. So whenever I do actually get to hear the end of an ASMR video, that's usually when I know I'm having a bad night. And yeah, it's rough. What I will say, and this is, you know, probably of limited, I guess, reassurance, help, relief, I don't know. But there is something to the idea that even if you don't fully sleep, staying in a restful state, even if you're not sleeping, is still, it's not sleep. It's not the same thing as sleep, obviously, but there is some benefit to it, right? The problem is when ASMR doesn't instantly knock you out, you start to panic a bit, and the longer it goes, the worse it gets. Understandable. Very understandable. I've had the same thing happen. So, like, I completely understand that. Completely get it. Because it's like, oh no, I don't remember this part of the video. I'm not asleep yet. Obviously, like, fixating on that isn't helpful, but that's also not the most helpful thing to say because I know you don't really have control over that. There are times, and it's hard to figure this out, right? But sometimes, what can be helpful sometimes is like if I'm tossing and turning, right? And like it's clearly been hours, right? Sometimes I get up, I get out of bed, I go out of the bedroom, and like I do something for like an hour. Whether that's, you know, I know technically speaking, like there's probably science behind why it shouldn't be something with a screen, probably, but also like, I don't know. I definitely have just played games before, so like that is not advice I've followed, but like just doing something to kind of break that cycle of like, I'm not sleeping, what's wrong with me? Kind of what you're trying right now. Well, that's good. Hopefully it helps. But yeah, like breaking that cycle of lying in bed, going like, I'm not sleeping, what's wrong? How am I not asleep yet? Breaking that cycle and doing something else can kind of help reset your brain a little bit, maybe. At least I've had some success with that. And like spending about like an hour or so, and then it's like, okay, now I feel tired. Or, well, I shouldn't say now I feel tired. Oh, often in those situations, you already feel tired, right? That's part of the problem. But, like, you know, taking that time, kind of trying to break the pattern. And then, after that, going back to bed and trying it again. If that still doesn't work, because it might not, but obviously give it the best try you can. Then, like I said, that's the point at which it's like, okay, just try to get as much rest, being in a rested state for as long as possible, even if you're not sleeping. Oftentimes you will drift off to sleep, even if it doesn't feel like that's happening. Like, sleep is a weird phenomenon in how it works, and like different levels of depths of sleep are a thing. So there are times when you might doze and you don't even realize it, and that at the very least gives your body something. I've definitely had those nights though where it's just like, okay, if I fall asleep now, like when it's late enough, like if I have to be up at 7 and it's 5 in the morning and I still haven't fallen asleep, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, if I sleep now, it's gonna suck in 2 hours. So in some cases, if it's like I don't have a choice, that might be the point where it's like, well, I guess I'm not sleeping, which is not good, but you know, it's a choice to make at that point. But also, if I do have, I completely understand that worry. If I do have a choice in the matter, those are sometimes the times at which it's like being sleep deprived, like it's not an illness, right? You're not actively sick, although it can lead to you being sick, right? However, it's effectively kind of that being in that state is not that different from being sick. So I have called off work before, called in sick, because it's like I didn't sleep at all, or I slept like an hour or two, and like I'm gonna be useless at work. So in those cases, it's like I'm calling in sick and taking the day, and usually in the course of that day, because I didn't sleep all night, I'm very tired and I wind up napping for like a solid 4 hours or something during the day. And that kind of helps reset things sometimes. Obviously, it's not a thing you can do all the time, and it depends on your individual situation. So not everybody has the luxury of being able to do that. But it is if you have the option available to you to call in sick to work, if you're working off of like, 1, 2, 3 hours of sleep, it can be a valid option to take. Sometimes it's the right call. You're back and laying down in bed. Welcome back, Rex. Getting no sleep scares you. Understandable. It's rough. Like, it's a rough situation to be in. It's hard. Like, so, okay, like, example, I didn't sleep that well last night. I really didn't. I had one of those nights last night. Part of it too is like weather. Like, weather can be a factor too. Like, if it's too warm, I just won't sleep. If it's too warm, I won't sleep. It has to be, like, if I'm overheated, like, my sleep is going to be garbage that night. And that was sort of what happened last night. It was a little too warm in the bedroom. And I slept probably, I don't think I got more than 4 hours of sleep. It may have been less than that. Gonna try to sleep again. If you don't come back, that's a good thing. Absolutely. Best of luck, Reload. I really, really hope you're able to get some sleep. Take it easy and take care of yourself, whatever that means needing to do. But like, I think I really only got 3 to 4 hours of sleep last night. And I turned around and went to the Ren Fair today. That's part of why I was as exhausted as I was coming home from that, because I was not working on very much sleep at all. And it was like, woke up, and it wasn't even like, because I went to bed. I mean, I always go to bed late. Like, I'm actually relatively bad at going to bed at a reasonable time. But, it's a thing. Streamer schedule, something. But, like, I didn't go to bed that much later than normal. I didn't really go to bed any later than normal, I don't think. I just didn't sleep very well, and I didn't sleep as long as I really should have, because, like, I woke up and was like, oh gosh, I don't feel very rested, but I also feel awake. And then I looked at the clock, and it's like, wait, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Why am I awake? Why am I awake this early? What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. And I just couldn't. Like, you hit that point where it's just like, you just can't get back to sleep. And it's just like, okay, I guess I'm awake. I guess I'm just gonna go have some caffeine and power through the day as best as I can. And to my credit, I did do it. So, I did do it. I did make it through the day. Did have a good time at the Ren Fair. Did go out and touch some grass, and it was still a good day. But it does impact things. It does make it hard sometimes to really like feel like you're present in the day. Because there was a point at like around like 3 or 4, right? I think it was like 3:30 or so, where I'm like standing there, and I'm just like, I think I'm drifting. I think I'm drifting off. And I kind of had to be like, I'm running out of steam. I kind of have to wrap it up at some point here. And thankfully, we had a full day at the fair, and we didn't leave immediately at that point, but it was the kind of thing where like I needed to be honest with myself about like, hey, I need to rest. And it's hard because like you don't always have convenient times or locations to do that. But to some degree, you gotta work with what you got, and you gotta just try to get rest where you can. You learned how getting little sleep affects the mind because of working on low sleep and being... There's, like, people... Like, it's actually been compared to, like, being, like, your mind functionally on, like, critically low levels of sleep is, like, comparable to being drunk, basically. Being inebriated. Being under the influence. When I rest, do I ever try to curl yourself up like some animals do? Kind of. I sleep in awkward positions, to be honest, but there are times when... So I'm a stomach sleeper mostly, which I know is not good, technically, quote unquote, but it's kind of what I do. I do the weird thing where, like, I have, like, one leg straight and the other one kind of, like, at an angle, and, like, my hand, like, my arms wrapped around my pillow. Like, it's... I don't know what you call that sleeping position. I don't think it's a particularly normal one, but I know I'm not the only person who does it. So, but I have slept in, like, sometimes, like, the fetal position or whatever, like, just, like, kind of, like, you know, knees, like, on your side, knees in, arms, like, close to your chest kind of thing. I've slept in that position before, and occasionally it's, like, what I need to do to get to sleep. But it's not super common that I do that way. So, there was one time you had to go through a 12-hour shift on 3 hours of sleep. Oh my God. Wouldn't recommend, of course, especially in a manufacturing plant. Yeah, no. Oh my gosh, that sounds awful. That sounds really awful. I mean, I'm glad you made it through, and I'm glad you wound up being safe, I hope, at the end of it. But yeah, no, I would not wish that on anybody. You sleep on your stomach, it's not good. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's fine. It's functional. But yeah, I know it's technically speaking supposed to not be very good. I don't know how much it actually matters, but, you know, wouldn't be able to do it. The worst I ever had, the worst kind of day of that kind of thing I read. So, I left home. I left my parents' home very early, like, as in, like, I moved out, like, basically immediately upon turning 18. We don't need to get into the reasons why. I think to some degree people can kind of guess. But anyways, so I lived, I still had the same job that I had when I was living with my parents. At that point. But I lived, like, probably about an hour away at that point, driving. And then I totaled my car. Got in a pretty bad accident, could not salvage the car. And so, like, you know, it was kind of, I just didn't have a car available to me anymore, like, at all. It just didn't have it as an option. And, wound up kind of soft quitting that job because I just stopped showing up to work because of, like, the fact that I didn't have a way to get there. However, I started out by trying to do it. I tried to get out there. And so it was like, okay, hang on. Public transportation's a thing, right? The area I lived in, not good public transportation. Where I'm at now, much better, but that's beside the point. At the time, I mapped out, like, okay, if I'm going to leave here from where I'm living and try to get to work when I need to, how do I do it? And it's like, okay, well, there's a bus that I can take that gets me into that area, and then I have to take, another couple buses from there. The short version of all of that is that I found out that I needed to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to my work shift, which I believe started at, I think, 8 o'clock. I needed to leave the house at 3 in the morning because I needed to walk about a half an hour to a bus stop that would then start a chain of public transportation options that would get me to work. I think I got to work around, I think my shift started at 8, but I got there at 7, right? So I don't even remember if I slept that night, because I think there may have been that moment of just is it worth sleeping right now if I have to get up in 3 hours, kind of thing. And so I don't think I slept. So I did all that, did my work shift, basically off of no sleep, and after having done all of that trekking into the area I needed to go, and then getting back home again, involved, I think, a train and several buses again, and I got back at midnight, I think. So almost a full 24 hours, which is insane. And I think I slept for an entire day after that. Suffice to say, I didn't do that a second time. At that point, it was this isn't worth it. I think I'm just gonna quit this job, because it was clearly, I think I probably spent more on, I may have spent more on transportation to get there than I made that day working. So it was what's the point? This doesn't make sense. Also, it was absolutely insane to do that. But in my head at that point, it was well, no, I have to go to work. So, but yeah, that's the worst I've ever done. I have never done anything as bad as that since. You would have been so mad. I mean, honestly, what I, at that point, it should have been the kind of thing where it was just no, this is so clearly insane. There's no reason for me to do this. I should just, I just need to take this as a loss, and, yep, I have to quit this job. I don't have the means to get there anymore. That's just gonna have to be how it is. And I start looking for work again closer. That would have been the smart thing for me to do. But I was, super, super young and super dumb, and was just no, I have to try to go to work. I have to try. I'm supposed to be there. So that, obviously, that was a learning experience, let's just say. So it's, yep. You have to sleep with this big koala plushie because when you're not hugging it, you don't know what to do with your arms. Also helps you stay warm in the winter and when the AC is on. I have, we've got some larger plushies for promotion for my dedication. It's fine. I was an idiot. I was young and idiotic. It was basic, because again, I was fresh out of high school at that point, and trying to figure out how to survive on my own because, again, I was not living at home anymore. So, but yeah, no, I do have like larger. I think we have we've got like a big, like super soft, like Pikachu plushie that, and then we've also got a, like a big, like equally sized and equally soft and squishy, Pua from Moana, plushie. I mean, I have a ton of plushies, but those are like the oversized ones that are like big enough for cuddling, right? And I tend to cuddle with those at night because it helps. It helps. Like you said, I agree. Like it's hard to sometimes know what to do with your arms while trying to sleep. So like it's part of what I do. So, but yes, enjoy your soup time catch up. But yeah, sleep is complicated, right? It's complicated and it's hard and it's dumb sometimes. So if I'm able at all to help anybody, drift off when needed, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy about that. Because I know sometimes I definitely need the assistance. So, oh my gosh. So, speaking of, we're not done, but I'm looking at the clock and it's looking like it is about 12 minutes to midnight. I do think I'm probably not going to push stream too long tonight beyond midnight because I am, like I said, very tired from this weekend. I keep accidentally clinking that glass. I am so sorry. But I'm going to start taking a look at who's out there that we might, and kind of keep an eye on who's out there who we might raid out to. But consider this. Let's call it a 15-minute heads up that we'll be raiding out soonish. Thank you so much, Punish Clank, for the follow. I appreciate it so much. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you're doing wonderful and having a great, cozy end to your weekend. Thank you again for joining us. So if you have any requests you want to throw out there for like triggers or anything before we end out here, this is the time to do it, as well as just any last minute things you want to yap about. I'm happy to do that. And otherwise, we'll just kind of wind down here and start getting ready to head out. So, there's at least one person I think I might try. Oh, we did raid them more recently, though. Let me see who else is there. Although, Minari is always a cozy time. So, if we don't hear, let me see here. Same category. Oh yeah, we've definitely raided into Jay recently. I think Kaya we raided into recently. I think we've raided into all of our ASMR friends recently. So I think it's okay if we wind up raiding into a repeat here. That's fine. Unless I pick somebody new. But the stream schedule for next week is up on the Discord. I'll be putting it up on Blue Sky tomorrow. But let me see here. Let me see if I can share that here with you guys here. And we'll just talk briefly about that. So there is next week's stream schedule. I'll be back on Tuesday with some more Majora's Mask. On Thursday, we should be finishing up Pokemon Reality System. Then I'm going to be doing more Grand Blue and more Haste, because I really did enjoy that game quite a bit, and I feel like it's a good wind-down game from something like Grand Blue. Hello, Star. Welcome in. And then Sunday night, we're going to have our cozy gaming stream, and I'm going to be trying out Escape Simulator. I really enjoy escape rooms, and I've heard good things about Escape Simulator. It's not quite like a real escape room, but it's kind of not entirely unlike one. So I'm really curious to see how it goes. And I think, especially if there's like a way to do it without a timer, that should be a thing that can be very cozy. Just me poking around, trying to solve some puzzles, chatting with you guys while it's happening. You run a real... I've done a lot of escape rooms. Well, I don't know. What counts as a lot? I've done... Let me see here. 1, 2, 3... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've done 8 escape rooms at this point. No, 9. I've done 9 escape rooms at this point. Almost 10, yeah. I've done 9 escape rooms at this point. I really like them. They're really, really fun. I really enjoy them. I'm also relatively good at the kinds of puzzles that, well, yeah, no, I think I can just make that a blanket statement. I'm relatively good at the kinds of puzzles that tend to be in escape rooms. So, like, I think they're super fun. I really like themed experiences, and a well-themed escape room is just super, super cool. I've done, like, I think the best one I've done, have I considered puzzle games in stream? I mean, yes, that's what we're doing next weekend. That's literally what we're doing next weekend. The best one I've done was one where it was actually super cool. It was basically like a runaway train, and you have to stop the train, right? That's the theme of the puzzle, right? And they actually made the room out of a decommissioned train car. Like, you actually went, I mean, not literally, it's not like one-to-one like they basically built it out of the parts or whatever of a decommissioned train car, but it was still with real train parts to make it, right? And for the most part, it was like, that felt like an actual train because it basically was made out of one. That was super, super cool. That was probably the best themed one I've done. Like, there are badly themed escape rooms I've done, and those are a lot less fun. They are, like, the puzzles are still cool and all, but like when the theme doesn't feel coherent, it's just like, oh, this is just a bunch of puzzles in a room, which is fine. That's still fun, but like, I've done a couple that, like, I do think, like, I don't know, it's one of those things that I think, like, you can still do really good, really well-themed escape rooms on a budget, right? Because, like, obviously, like, elaborately themed ones are harder to do if you don't have money, right? Or by which I mean, like, companies putting them together, right? The last 3 escape rooms that you've done have started with you chained to a wall or a chair. You're worried that it keeps happening? Oh no. I've never done one where I've actually been chained up. The closest was a pirate-themed one where you start in, like, a cage, quote-unquote. Like, basically you enter the room and there's, like, a rope, like, cage, basically rope, like, yeah, it's like, it's not like chain, like, not like iron bars or anything like that, but it is still technically like you're in a cage, quote unquote. And the first step is like, okay, how do you get out of this into the rest of the room? And obviously there was the means to unlock part of it and, like, open up enough of the net to get through and into the rest of the room. So that's the closest to like that. I've never been like actively changed to something that's a little wild. There was a really cool one that I did recently that was like themed to like a video rental place, like a Blockbuster Video, and like that one was super cool because like it was really, really well done with the theming too, because it was like, oh, yep, that's what this is. So that was cool. But like there was a really cool one that like maybe it was a prison and not an escape room then. Star, what that? What are you talking about? What happened? What did you do? I mean, I do know that there are some more intense ones that involve a little bit more of what feels like physical peril, even though, like, I think technically they're not supposed to do that. Like, not supposed to actually put you at risk of anything, obviously, right? So, but it feels like it, right? So, there was one where it was like, it was interesting because the theme was kind of abstract. Like, it wasn't an abstract story, but it was an abstract theme because it was like, the idea was like you're trying to help this girl come out of a coma, and so you get like shrunk down super tiny and get put into her brain, and the idea is like you're trying to like solve things in her brain and figure out what put her in the coma and try to like get her back out, and like the puzzles are all related to that and like to her memories and stuff. And like there were two halves of the room, like it was two rooms, and like it was sort of working with like the idea of like, oh yeah, like there's the one half that's like the logical analytical brain, and then the other half is like the creative half, which I don't think is actually real science now that I think about it, but it, you know, it's the common understanding, so it worked fine for a theme, right? And like that one was like, oh yeah, you have like an hour before the medicine that they, or like the thing that they did to make you small like wears off, and you like, and you don't want to like, and they need to, if you haven't woken her up and then like you're not small anymore, then that's bad because you're in her brain, and that would be bad. But like the rooms weren't like, they didn't do anything to make it look like you were actually in somebody's brain. It was more just like the rooms were just themed to, like, they had one room that was in black and white and the other room was in color, right, for like the logical and like creative ends. And like, so that was cool. And like it was really well, like it was smartly done, even though it wasn't elaborately done. Like they did just kind of look like two rooms, but because of the way they decorated them and because of the way they actually utilized stuff to kind of tell the story, like it didn't matter that it wasn't like elaborately themed to look like you were like literally inside somebody's brain, right? Like it worked fine. So like that's kind of what I think about when I think about like, you don't have to have it be like super, super involved and intricate. You can do good theming without having to spend, like, without having it be like, you know, looking like you're on a movie set, right? So, anyways, point being, I think escape rooms are neat. They are fun. I like them. And we're going to try to do one next week, Saturday or Sunday. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. With that said, we are now definitely in that 12 o'clock hour. So let me take a look and see who we have out there to raid out to. I'm going to refresh this. Just in case. Let me see here. Oh, did Minari end out? Minari might have ended, which means we can't raid her. Just checking here to make sure she didn't just like suddenly like move on this list. But she may have ended stream. Oh, nope, she's still here. Okay. I think I'm going to send you guys to her. I think I'm going to send her your way. Nope, send you her way. Yes, that's how that works. Let me see. She's still going. Okay, I think she's still going. She might not be too far from the end of stream, but also I know she'll head out to somebody else ASMR and cozy also, so that's good too. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up this raid then in that case. Those of you coming with me on this raid, we do have a raid message. If you are subscribed and have access to the emotes. Oh, my button is not working. Uh-oh. Let me see here. Is it this? Hang on. Yes, there we go. If you are subscribed and have access to those emotes, it is that. If you are not subscribed, that is okay. We've got you covered with this one instead. Please feel free to use either one of those as we raid into Minari's stream. And I hope that... Oh, wait. Yes. Brain is not working properly. I will see you guys on Tuesday for some more Majora's Mask. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and a great start to your week. And I will see you next time. Have a great night, chat. Sleep well. Hang tight for that raid.